Final rankings, Joel, tell you about what mattered to the committee.
Yeah, okay, so it wasn't about your performances or your defense or your offense, and it wasn't about four best. No. What the committee told us, and what they really have told us for a couple of years now, we're boiling it down to, like, this is the bottom line for the committee, is what are you at your worst?
Yeah.
They're going to take the highest floor of the year, Colin, the highest floor of the year. And I say that because that's very clearly what they gave us. If you were debating between 3 and 6, and how do you rank Notre Dame through Ohio State, the only way that you get them in this order is if you look at their floor. You see, Notre Dame's floor was a bunch of one-possession wins, so wins against bad teams like Ball State, Pitt, and USC. The floor for Oklahoma is just a 3-point loss to Texas. Then you get to those bad losses for who? Georgia, a 20-point loss to a ranked team, and then a 29-point loss for Ohio State against Purdue. That's the only way, the only criteria that puts those teams in that order. So that's very clearly what the committee did.
I don't disagree with that, nor do I disagree with Georgia being 5th and not in, although I think they're a very good football team. Is there any circumstance for you that a 2-loss team that lost their conference championship game could get in?
None whatsoever. I mean, it's been very clear that this committee is not going to put a 2-loss team in, period. If they didn't put Ohio State in as a 2-loss team last year over a 1-loss non-champ in Alabama, then they sure as well better not put a 2-loss non-champ Georgia in over a 1-loss champ this year in either Ohio State or Oklahoma. Listen, the bottom line is the best we saw Georgia look all year was a loss. And quite frankly, if you've got a 14-point lead twice and you've knocked out the Heisman Trophy leader, you should win the game.
Yeah.
So Kirby Smart's got this on his shoulders. You've got the game basically won. It's tie ball game. You're at the 50-yard line. You called a ridiculous fake. That's your problem, not mine. Don't come crying to me needing a get-out-of-jail-free card, okay? You had a chance to win, and you didn't. Therefore, you need to go home.
Yeah, by the way, they had 3 big games this year. LSU, Bama, and Florida. They went 1 and 2 in their big 3 games. You got to win more of those games. Okay.
Right.
So now we got Clemson, Notre Dame. Let's start with that matchup. I like Clemson.
Okay.
I like Clemson, but I think Clemson's a flawed team. Your thoughts on that matchup?
There is one major flaw, and I actually think that's where Notre Dame could exploit them, because I think Ian Book is a really good quarterback. He has shown a lot of efficiency since he got put into the starting lineup for Brian Kelly, and Clemson does not defend the pass well. Look at what they did against South Carolina.
Yeah.
They were an absolute sieve against the pass. Everywhere else, they're a pretty great team.
Yeah.
You know, and I would err on the great side of things, but you can get them through the air, and that's where I think Notre Dame has got to go. It really helps that Notre Dame is strong against the run. They're good in their front 7 defensively with a guy like Jerry Tillery, because that's going to put the onus on a true freshman in Hunter Lawrence rather than Travis Etienne being able to run the football for, like, let's say 150 yards. If you put all of that on the Clemson passing game, I think there's an avenue for an upset for Notre Dame. I'm going to pick Clemson, but I think, Colin, this one's going to be a 1-possession game late. I think that Notre Dame's going to have a shot.
Okay, Bama, I think, beats Oklahoma, but I do think Kyler Murray running around is going to be, it's not going to be easy. I think it's going to be a 47-35, 2-touchdown Bama. What do you think?
You're like, listen, you're so happy right now. You're like my kids when I give them ice cream before dinner, right? I mean, you got it. You got your Laffy Taffy. You got your exciting matchup that you wanted.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm also excited, right? Nobody is going to turn down watching Kyler Murray play against that defense and against potentially Tua Tagovailoa if he's able to get healthy after this high ankle procedure that he has. Here's one thing that I'm concerned about for Oklahoma, though. Oklahoma is not nearly as explosive as they can be if Hollywood Brown's not on the field.
Right.
He's imperative for them because he gets the safeties out of the box. His speed is so important for their run game specifically, and if they're balanced, they're dangerous. If they're not nearly as dangerous. So his health, after leaving that game in the second half with that foot injury, I think is the #1 key to the game. If he's on the field, I think Oklahoma has a shot. If he's not, I think Bama rolls.
Finally, I got to be honest, is in college football, we tend to think it holistically, but you should cut it into seasons. Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback for Ohio State, 2 months ago, I was like, stay in college. I think he's the #1 pick now. You called the game. I think I'd take him #1 if I needed an NFL team needed a quarterback.
I tell you what, he has put together quite a case.
Yep.
He has come out and stated that he's going to play the Rose Bowl, so that'll be another game in which he has a chance to go against what I would deem one of the better pass defenses in all of college football. He's going to go up against that Huskies pass defense that has been very good. He has put together some tape, Colin, that I think puts him well inside of the top 10 this year in the NFL draft, and because of that, I would argue he should leave school.
Yes.
I always think it's good to get more reps. Okay, if you start with that premise, that's fine. But when you're in the top 10 or slated to be in the top 10, I think that you've got to come out because you don't have that lottery ticket every single year, and there's only so long that you can play for free. Dwayne's a really talented guy who's thrown for a ton of yards, and I don't think he's going to be able to replicate this season next year because remember now, that Ohio State team loses some of those wide receivers. 3 seniors going to leave that wide receiver core. So I don't think he's going to be able to throw for 4,000 yards and, 47, 48 touchdowns, whatever he ended up with. I think he needs to come out, and I think he's likely going to be in the top 10. Colin, I'm not going to be shocked at all. And I know this is hyperbole. I'm not going to be shocked at all if he's the number 1 selection.
Yeah.
I just won't.
Yeah.
That position and the film late in the season, I think, might do it.
Joel Klatt's got his holiday sweater on. Looks like a real professional. He'll be at the Holiday Bowl. Doing Northwestern in Utah, December 31st.
Yeah, buddy.
Going to be a good game. Good talking to you, buddy.
You bet. I tell you what, have fun eating that Laffy Taffy watching that Orange Bowl.
I will. Good stuff. Now, I mean, it's funny about the NFL. We all understand, Joy, the NFL. Like, you have pre-Thanksgiving and post-Thanksgiving and playoffs. But college football fans, they just think the season's one big glob. And teams get better and players get better. Dwayne Haskins for Ohio State. 4 games into the year, I'm like, he needs more reps. I'm watching him the last 3 weeks, and I'm like, oh, that's the number 1 pick in the draft. That's who I would pick. Who right now would have the number 1 pick in the draft? Is it Raiders or 49ers? Okay, if I'm Raiders, I stay with Derek Carr. Who's the first team that needs a quarterback that's going to draft? New York Giants? No, they're winning too many darn games. That kid at Ohio State, man, he has got a gun. He is big. He is mobile. I'm sorry, but when you watch him make this throw right here, okay, that's an NFL throw. That is 55 yards on a dime to a moving target. I
mean, even though the Giants keep winning games, they may be the first
I would take him
to need a quarterback.
Yeah. And again.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just sorry, but that kid, Cincinnati, let's move off Andy Dalton. Move up in the draft. Jacksonville, move off Bortles. Come on. This kid can play. And again, I didn't think week 4, I'm like, he needs 15, 20 more starts. That kid the last 3 weeks has been unbelievable. Michael Vick, Trent Dilfer, 3-word game. Our last hour today could be our best hour. Casper.com code HERD. Casper.com code HERD. 100 nights risk-free. The code gets you $50 off select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. Casper.com code HERD.
Ordinary eggs? Not in this house, because that's no ordinary family. That's your family, which is why you didn't grab just any cheese. You picked up new Kraft expertly paired cheddar and Swiss for eggs. Beat that. Kraft. Family greatly.
If bulky jackets are a burden,